Okay. Hello, people. Hypnotized by Beauty Part 4. This is like 3 or 4 months postponed. I don't know why I didn't do them in order, so I'm sorry about that. And I would have been consistent with my image for each video. Anyway, this video, Part 4, it's actually in a different direction than I thought that it was going to be. This video, the finale, was going to be me talking about ages 35 to 46 and feeling more free that we talked about with all my physical image issues that we discussed in all those videos. But I think what I decided that I would say, and actually it's a relief to me to kind of make it short, is that that was the time that I started learning Krav Maga. For those of you who don't know about it, haven't heard about it, it's an Israeli fighting combatives system. Yes, a lot of places have integrated fitness into it, so it'll be more rare for you to find it, more the crazy sometimes dangerous types of classes. But at the time when I was learning, so almost like over 10 or 11 years ago now, it was there really weren't very many schools in Sacramento, so it was rare. Some people consider it a martial arts. I still don't really call it that at this point. I still probably would just debate it just because I don't think of it like that, especially when it comes to drill training. And so that's for another show topic. It's integrating a lot of different styles, boxing, jujitsu, and all those sorts of things in it. But specifically for me, when I found it, which I had great love with it, I thought I would actually end up instructing more aside from just doing workshops. But that's to be determined still for the future. But it is actually the drills that taught me the most. Very deep psychological sorts of things that sometimes would happen to me that I wondered if I had some sort of past life, some sort of abuse or something like that. I don't know because it just rocked me to my core and changed my life. And I was that people pleaser person. But before I go on to a rant of all of that, what I wanted to say is I think because I was growing so much in that and I was building, muscle strength and becoming stronger, my focus again started dissolving away from all of the physical exterior sorts of things. And focusing, on that so much is really that period of time. So much of what I learned, the confidence that it helped me feel secure, and you would have thought that would have become more, but it was quite the opposite. I mean, I really like being fit and feeling like now that later on in life, now that I've gained a little bit more and not in clothes as much. It's kind of like, oh, I gotta do that to maintain that. Like, how much do I care? And so it's pretty funny, I'm like, oh, that's why a lot of people keep up on this for the vanity. Yeah, it's nice to have nice legs and arms or whatever, better ass, but how hard do you want to work? Right. So at this point, okay, so before I get into it, at this point, or I don't even know, I'm going to discuss really what I'm doing these days, but going through all those self-esteem issues, the low sense of self-worth, all these sorts of things that, I can describe after I learned self-defense, like how it helped me build all of that. While I would have thought I was a confident like person in certain things of my abilities, I still would say I had low sense of self-worth. So that was a very long time, people, even till what I say 35. So after owning my own business and still just realizing like, wow, I thought I liked myself enough, but I can't even stand up to this person who's pretty much like in my face, that I don't have the verbal skills or, avoiding conflict. It's what I've always done. So training just, I would say, best describe it as it helped elevate me. It took me to another level. And those remnants of the things that I was focusing on before were just not as important to me. And this is why I also advocate this style and other combative trainings that push you so hard and they're testing everything you thought you knew about yourself and everything you might say, oh, I can't do that. And I learned so much by training like this and overcoming myself, and how much positive self-talk that I had to do. It's funny because you have your coach, there rooting you on and saying all these beautiful magical things that you want to flip them off for, and are making you swear and all that. But I just remember that one drill I've talked about, that we did a knife drill on the ground, and all that I could think about is I wouldn't even roll into the other person. So you're like this on the ground, right? Shoulder to shoulder, and you'd have to roll into each other and fight each knife across the room. And I just didn't want to do it. All I would be thinking about is that they're too strong, and like that I'm not going to do it, and just that intimidation. And then I think I just practiced enough and got in enough of the situation, or had been training enough, where I just developed that mindset. They're strong, but I'm strong too. Like, and so that at least I would try. Because in that situation too, it's all about whoever gets on top first. So that is a huge benefit, and you can go see on my YouTube video too. There is a reenactment of it later in life, which I could look at it and maybe be angry or really disappointed in myself for not technically losing. And I get further confused because I'm kind of like, okay, are we just resisting or trying to keep the other person down? I feel like there's multiple things going on. But yeah, there is. I do that drill again, and I didn't give up. So I still look at those sorts of things. I don't even look at it as a failure or anything like that because of what I came from before. So all this mindset, different things that I've done, I think they've just in life, helped to me be a stronger person. Everybody says, yeah, makes you stronger, makes you more resilient. And I agree with all of that. But some of this type of training impacts people in different ways. Some people, yes, they come from trauma or abuse or whatever it is, and you'll hear those stories. There's lots of people you train with that have never been through anything, so they're not going to maybe see it in the same way. But the drill training is what I love. I've been praying on a place that will one day focus on this more with civilians. While my school does do that, I would like it to be more often. So I really try to stay in touch with them to do more seminars and different things I've talked about with my activism and all of that. But this is the last video on, there really isn't that much to share between 35 and 46 in of the feeling more free, other than, like I said, less comparing, not caring actually at all, and just being into my own fashion thing, and just trying to do things supportive that will make me feel good about how I look. And yeah, just that would be, I guess, about it. Is just the focus has gone away and kind of dissolved, and it's kind of, since you've heard me talk about that, so much of my life that has been the focus. Hypnotized, the power, the everything over me. So I'm going to say that's the end for part 4, and hope you enjoyed the series, found it interesting, and maybe it helps support you on your path in some sort of way. I'm surprised. I'm sorry I don't have some sort of beautiful last closing paragraph. I would rather, I don't know why I actually didn't type up more on this, but I wanted to say more than on embracing. The bottom line is embracing your uniqueness, working on yourself, your character, your everything. It's not just hobbies and passions. It's like the conflict resolving, like I said, being able to speak up, learning different fighting systems, um, doing different things that can make you stand out, if anything, to yourself. And if I was still talking specifically like to first responders to end in this video, because I love specializing in them with the holistic health and all that sort of stuff to have less stress, and my background in wellness is that being diverse in your industry, learning different things. Okay. And so doing these things that are going to make us unique and stand out, feel better about ourselves, and we will compare ourselves less. We will do it less because we will feel confident about our toolbox of different things that we can offer the world in serving. Okay? So, again, this helped you in one, and that is my, I don't know to say biggest hope, but I hope that it helps you. My story, because it's taken me a lifetime to get to this point to be able to explain it. And I never would have thought that self defense was going to be something in another part of my life to elevate me or to become this person that I am now, who I never thought that I would be, the introvert of the hating of the world. And not only just, I think there are people that go through that, but because and stay the way that they are, but because I have seen the light, I've realized, the power of our minds. All of this coaching, all of this coaching myself, all of these different, um, I'm just going to stop before I start getting lost and going on to another, subject matter. But basically, personal growth is a never ending process. And I'm going to keep learning and I'll keep sharing and telling more stories for your amusement and entertainment. Okay, people, I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.